All right, hi there, and welcome to this special training. It's called The 7 Biggest Mistakes Homeschool Moms Make and How to Avoid Them. So I'm Justina from Just Classical, and I've been homeschooling, like I just said, for 12 years. I have 3 kids. They are ages now almost 17, 15, and 12. So I've been homeschooling throughout all the years, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that and my journey and why I like to do this workshop and why I made a course called Thriving at Homeschool. So welcome, and I'm glad you're here, and you can see my face here for a minute, but I'm actually going to share my screen because I have some slides to share with you. So let me figure out the share because we're going to try to avoid distractions here. So welcome, and just so you know, this will probably take close to an hour, maybe not quite an hour, depending on if you have some questions for me at the end as well. So I want to encourage you to give yourself some time to soak in the training and turn off your cell phone and alerts or whatever that you need to do. So you're distracted, you can hang out with me. And also, if you have children, which of course you do, right? We're homeschooling. If you can get them situated a little bit. So this could be your time. So it'll be about the hour, like I said. So give yourself a gift of focus. And then if you have questions, I have kind of turned off my visibility to see the chat at this point, but go ahead and put questions in the chat if you have any, and I will gladly answer them at the end. And hopefully some of them will be answered along the way for you. All right, so we are going to be talking today about the 7 biggest mistakes homeschool moms make and how we can avoid them. And believe me, I've made these mistakes, and that's why I know about this. So I just want to introduce myself. You saw my face at the beginning. In real person, this is live. But hi, I'm Justina of Just Classical. And in case you don't know me, I founded Just Classical, and I'm a homeschooling mom of 3, and I have homeschooled my children classically mostly. And I provide music and art resources for homeschooling families mostly, but I also have some memory songs. I like to encourage people in their Christian faith. And this is actually one of the first courses I ever did because it helped me to get organized as a homeschool mom and be able to enjoy my life more. And I also like to share these tips with people because I know I'm known for music and art maybe, but a lot of times people say, I don't have time to add in music and art. And so when we know how to manage our time better, then we can add in music and art. So let me ask you a couple of questions, maybe a few more than a couple actually, to see if this sounds like you, because we're actually talking about 7 mistakes homeschool moms make. So with so much to do, you feel like you just can't keep up with all your daily responsibilities and you feel exhausted and overwhelmed. Or does this sound like you? You feel like you need 2 of yourself to take on the full-time jobs of being your children's teacher and your family's CEO, in charge of cleaning, cooking, shopping, caring for children, running around to activities, and you lose track of what you've already done because of mom brain fog. Or does this sound like you? You feel frustrated with distractions, interruptions, and finding enough time in the day. Maybe this sounds like you. You struggle with taking care of yourself because you spend so much time taking care of your family and other responsibilities. Well, if any of these sound familiar, I want you to know you're in exactly the right place because today's training is going to help you identify those 7 biggest mistakes homeschool moms make and how to avoid them. So before we dive in though, I'm just going to give you a quick preview of what's ahead. So first of all, I'm going to help you identify those 7 biggest mistakes homeschool moms make in managing your homeschool, your home, and your time. I'm also going to help you see the main difference between homeschool moms who are enjoying their homeschool journey and those who are burned out. And I'm going to share hacks for how to avoid these mistakes by establishing a root system in 3 key areas: your mindset, your home management, and your time management. This will help you focus on these key areas that you may need routines and systems in. And at the end, I'm going to share some information about my course called Thriving at Homeschool, the Christian Homeschool Moms Home Management and Productivity course, and why it might just be the thing you need right now. So let me ask you something. Actually, I'm going to share a quote. This is my brother's quote. He said, "I don't want to just get through anything. I want to enjoy my life." So I have a question. Is it possible to enjoy the journey of homeschooling, or is it something we just need to get through? Well, believe me, I guess I just said that one, so let me move on. All right. Believe me, I've been there in just getting through. You see, here I am looking pretty tired in my messy office, right? But let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have always wanted to be a mom, and I have 6 younger siblings and 4 older siblings, so I'm one of 11. But with 6 younger siblings, I usually had a baby or toddler around to play with until I was a teenager. And I always liked to play with dolls. And my younger siblings were more dolls to dress up or be students in my school. So this is me over here in the sweater and overalls, and that's my neighbor friend and 3 of my little sisters. Now, I especially enjoying pretending to be Mary Poppins. And with the idea that being a mom was like being Mary Poppins and going on exciting outings with children every day, what could be better than being a mom with my children all day? Now, obviously, there were a few things that I didn't understand about mothering and especially homeschooling. Now, my mom was not Mary Poppins, but she was a stay-at-home mom who appeared to have time to herself. Can you imagine that? I thought my mom had time for herself, even though she had 11 children, but she didn't homeschool again. So when she dropped the kids off at school, she still had toddlers at home, but somehow she carved out time for herself to read and take naps and to sew. But I didn't actually consider the reality that homeschooling is a full-time job on top of mothering and being CEO of the home. So that's my mom. My mom still looks super young. She just turned 81 yesterday, I have to say, and she still only just now has silver hair. But that is my mom with her 8th child, my brother. And this is me now. So when I got married and I started having children, the first few years were filled with fun classes and field trips. Now, I was an early childhood music teacher, so I taught music classes even when I was pregnant with my kids. So they always had music classes. And I also took them to this really cool nature center for toddler times or for things like apple picking, which is what this picture is of. But when it came time to homeschool, guess what? My days lacked structure, and suddenly I realized that too many field trips or outings like Mary Poppins got in the way of a structured and consistent learning setting. I had not established a system of routines or a schedule, and I tended to wing it. So no, I am not an unschooler, but I found that actually didn't really work for me. Yes, my kids were learning a lot through these field trips and everything, but I knew I needed to add a little more structure. So my second year of homeschooling, we joined Classical Conversations, and I jumped right in as a tutor and eventually a director. Being in CC kept me on track with a schedule and accountability. But I was also getting worn out from all the responsibility. It's good for me to be accountable to other people, but at the same time, it was a lot of responsibility. So each year, I would get to the point of survival mode and just getting through. Yeah, that usually happens about February when I can't stand winter anymore. So a few years ago, after being in CC for 8 years and tutoring or directing for all of those, I was in major homeschool burnout. And my husband looked at me and he said, "You need a break." So we took a year off of CC and did all our homeschooling at home. And I figured out some systems for myself. I began to use a planner. I put the systems in place, and I was able to regain my energy and motivation. So now I am better able to balance my homeschool, my home life, and enjoy life. I don't feel like I'm just getting through the school year and in survival mode all the time, but I can enjoy the days and the seasons of homeschooling. But this story is not about me. I just wanted you to see, though, that I've been through burnout and not having systems in place. And for some people who like to wing it, I guess that can work for them. But I think that we make a lot of mistakes, too, if we don't have anything in place. So again, this story is not about me. Because though your story might look and sound a little different than mine, especially if you're just starting out, being able to enjoy the journey of homeschooling and thrive at home is exactly what I want for you too. So that's what this training is about. So let's go ahead. What are those 7 biggest mistakes homeschool moms make? They are the mistakes that we make that rob us of joy and kick us into survival mode. So mistake number 1 is doing things in our own strength by not making time with God a priority. A big factor in burnout is trying to do things in our own strength. We can't. We can do nothing apart from God, so we must be abiding in His word and getting our strength from Him. Jesus says, "I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." So that's John 15:5. So God wants to revive us in His word, the Bible, and in our relationship with Him. We will find refreshment in the truths and perspective and promises of the Bible, but even more so as we grow in a relationship with Him. Developing our relationship with God reminds us of our purpose in life, to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. Westminster Shorter Catechism number 1. In addition to time in the Bible, prayer time is vital. We need to be able to pour out our concerns to God and lift up our children and our activities. We also are able to find perspective as we focus on praising God for His character and thanking Him for our many blessings. If we are not spending time with God, we are doing things in our own strength, and we will quickly burn out, go into survival mode, and rob ourselves of the joy of fellowship with Him and the life He's given us. So our first mistake, again, is doing things in our own strength by not making time with God a priority. Mistake number 2 is not setting up priorities. When we don't have priorities in mind, or when we don't designate some things as important, we don't know where to focus our energy and time. And if everything is important, then nothing is important. Now, there's a powerful visual demonstration of this using rocks in a jar. So this is from a picture of me showing this demonstration. If you want to fill all the spaces of a jar using big rocks, small stones, and sand, what would you put in first? If you put in the sand first and then the small stones, there would not be space for the big rocks. Yet, if you put in the big rocks first, then you can still fit in the small stones. You can even fill in sand in all the extra places. So the big rocks are our priorities. But so often we fill our lives with all of the tasks that are urgent or necessary. That is the sand and the small stones. And then we don't have time for what is actually important. If we don't know our priorities, we run around after the urgent and necessary things and wear ourselves out before we can get to the important things that will actually help us enjoy our lives and thrive. So mistake number 2 is not setting up priorities. Mistake number 3 is taking on too many commitments. As homeschool moms, we want to do it all, and we want our children to have every opportunity to grow and learn. We may find ourselves running around from one activity to another, being Mary Poppins with all the outings, right? And maybe not even being at home much. But it is unrealistic to try to do everything, and that is how we wear ourselves out. There are seasons to life, and you can't do everything at once. This means learning to say no to many things. It means eliminating or taking a break from activities or responsibilities, even if for just a season. When we take on too many commitments, I was going to show you all the different activities we go around to, right? And when we take on too many commitments, we're probably not getting enough rest, and we are draining our resources more quickly. We feel frazzled instead of enjoying life. So mistake number 3 is taking on too many commitments. Mistake number 4 is having no goals. As homeschool moms, we begin to let our lives revolve around our children, and we may forget to continue to improve our own lives or have goals for ourselves. If we have no goals, we will not have direction. We will not live intentionally. We will run around like a chicken with its head cut off. We may begin to lose our sense of purpose. And all these things will drain our joy and our energy. So mistake number 4 is having no goals. Mistake number 5 is having no plans. With all the things we need to do with our children in homeschooling and all the things we want to do with our lives, not having a plan causes us to run around in circles and feel like we're getting nowhere. Having a plan is a key to sanity as a homeschool mom. Now, I'm not just talking about a plan like there are 160 lessons in the math book and we have to do school 172 days, so we'll just make sure we do a lesson almost every day. Yes, that's what my original plans look like. Instead, you will need to look at the priorities for your children's education. What is most important for them to learn while they are at home, long-term learning, or this year, short-term learning? You may also want to make goals or help your children define their goals for the year. Then you will want to look at how many lessons are in a curriculum. Yes, that is part of the planning, and how many days of the school you will meet. And then you can sketch out a plan in pencil of how many lessons you need to do a month and a week. And finally, each week, you can make up a daily schedule or list of what needs to get done each day that week. Now, for yourself, you will need to think through your priorities and goals, and also plan monthly, weekly, and daily ways to work on your goals and actually schedule times in a planner. So without a plan, we don't feel productive, nor are we accomplishing what we should, and this drains us as we try to pick up the pieces, and then we'll end up going into survival mode. So mistake number 5 is having no plans. Mistake number 6 is having no routines or systems in place. Do you ever get to 5 p.m. and realize you have no plan for dinner? Have you ever had your kids say to you, "Mom, I don't have any clean underwear," and then only realize you haven't done laundry in days? Do you feel overwhelmed with all the cleaning and the meals, the laundry, and drained by trying to stay on top of those things? Well, when we don't have routines or systems in place, we waste our mental and physical energy on the little tasks and the details of daily living. And so we have no energy left for the bigger, more important tasks. And we get overwhelmed with having to decide what is for dinner again. So mistake number 6 is having no routines or systems in place. Mistake number 7 is not getting enough rest or taking time for recharging. As homeschool moms, we get so busy that we don't take time for ourselves, even to get enough rest. We don't have any of our own interests anymore. And this is a huge way to drain our energy. If possible, we need to strike a balance between giving to our families, fulfilling our calling as wives and mothers, and taking care of ourselves and making sure we get breaks for refreshment. We can get refreshment through lots of things. I think hopefully you know what refreshes you, but it could be things like walks, fresh air, reading, writing, alone time if you're an introvert, or time with friends if you're an extrovert, maybe a night out without your kids with just your husband, or a get together with friends. You know what kinds of things fill you up. But most importantly, start making time with God a priority and be refreshed in Him. Okay, so now we need to ask the question, how do we avoid the 7 biggest mistakes homeschool moms make? How do we enjoy our lives in the busyness of homeschooling? Is it possible to thrive and not just survive? Well, before I answer that question, I want you to think of a fruit tree. In order for a tree to bear fruit, it has to be a healthy tree. And it has to be getting enough water, sunlight, and nutrients from the soil to be able to grow the fruit. But what else does a tree have that we might not see and think about? Well, a healthy tree has a healthy root system. In fact, trees have root systems underground that are 3 to 7 times the size of the visible tree. And even with those huge root systems, sometimes the root system is not deep enough or not healthy, and the tree gets blown over in a severe storm. If you've ever seen a tree that's been blown over and all the roots that stick up, it is amazing to see how many roots those trees have. Now, we also want to establish a healthy root system in our lives that will take us from surviving to thriving. So we need a root system that is deep and healthy enough that when the storms of life come, we don't simply topple, but we can withstand the winds and the storms, and again, even thrive. Now, there are 3 key areas of your home life where you would need to establish this root system. And those are your mindset, your personal and home routines, and your time. So let's talk about growing a root system. So first of all, we're going to talk about mindset management. Taking control of your home life starts with approaching life with a perspective bigger than yourself and a dependence on God, as well as setting priorities and being free to spend time on what is really important and letting go of some activities. So that's the first area of a root system. The second area of a root system is home management. Creating personal and home routines frees your brain from thinking about everything you have to do, helps you feel less stress about getting everything done, and enables you to have systems in place in your home so things run smoothly. And the third root area is time management. Establishing a plan of time management involves goal setting to give you direction, making a plan to avoid wasting time and to work towards goals, and finding time to recharge so you enjoy life. Now, when you grow a root system in these 3 areas, it is possible to thrive, like the fruit tree. Even when difficult times come or changes like extended illness or a big move, you will know your priorities, or you can go back and reevaluate for the current circumstances. And you will be in the habit of spending time with God for your strength. You will have routines for the basic part of life, like a morning and evening routine and routines for cleaning and meals. And you will know how to manage your time through planning so you can easily get back on track when life throws you the curveballs. Now, we've talked about this in theory about how to thrive and enjoy life while homeschooling, but I think it would be helpful to quickly look at a few case studies of people who have followed the process in their own lives. And this is a process that is found in my course, Thriving at Homeschool. So hopefully these examples will help you to see how this works. So first I want to introduce you to Amy. Now, when Amy took my course a few years ago, she was a new homeschool mom, a first-time homeschool mom. So she was looking to gain confidence in preparing for homeschooling, and she was trying to figure out how to balance homeschooling her 2 children while babysitting 4 extra babies and toddlers. So she really needed to have a good plan in place because she knew she had a lot on her plate, and it would be especially important to create systems and personal routines. So Amy went through these steps, these root systems of mindset management, home management, and time management. And she focused her perspective on Christ, set her priorities, and so took control of her thoughts and her mindset. Then she worked on home management with personal and home routines so she could save her energy for giving her attention to the 6 children in her care. And then she also was able to implement time management as she set her big goals and she planned how to work on them in a monthly and weekly focus. So when Amy finished her first year of homeschooling, she said not everything went perfectly, but she was able to enjoy the year and the moments with her children rather than running around feeling crazy because she used the process of mindset management, home management, and time management. All right, so let's talk about Denise. Now, Denise was a burned out homeschool mom. She had been homeschooling for 8 years and she was just so tired. She told me that things were okay the first few years of homeschooling her oldest son, but then she had another baby, a delightful and spirited girl. This little girl was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 18 months, and with her outgoing, change-the-world personality, introverted Denise wasn't getting enough sleep, and her stress levels rocketed. And when it came time to homeschool her daughter, Denise became overwhelmed with all of her daughter's needs. She had ADHD, dyslexia, and executive dysfunction order. Fortunately, Denise was able to get help with her daughter's schooling from an occupational therapist and reading specialist, but 8 years of stress and much sleep deprivation had left her cognitive abilities impaired and her energy levels lacking. She knew it was time to make some changes in her personal life. So Denise enrolled in Thriving at Homeschool. For her, the biggest encouragement was in renewing her perspective and her relationship with the Lord, or working on the mindset management. She also immediately began to see how to make small changes and a better plan for her home and her homeschooling routines when she focused on home management. And her time management also improved as she began to use the Thriving at Home homeschool planner. So Denise told me that after the course, she was making time with God a priority, and she has used the Thriving at Home homeschool planner to stay on track with homeschooling and the extra appointments with her daughter. She said she was able to thrive at home this year. So, though I've given you 7 mistakes, I've given you some case studies of people who have used those 3 areas of a root system so you can be that healthy tree, right? So that brings us to the question of how can you implement this in your own life quickly and easily, like Amy or Denise? Well, option 1 is you can figure it out all on your own. You can do your own research. You can figure out your own path, which is totally doable, but probably with a lot of struggle, overwhelm, and without a clear plan for success. And you will get there eventually, but it's going to take longer and it can be painful. Option number 2 is to simply follow the process that we talked about today and grow a root system in your mindset management, home management, and time management. And I would love to be your guide in this so that you can be a thriving homeschool mom. So I want to invite you to join me in Thriving at Homeschool, the Christian Homeschool Mom's Home Management and Productivity course. And I'm going to share a little bit about it, what's involved in it, because this is the application of what I've shared with you and how you can avoid those 7 mistakes as a homeschool mom. So in the course, you can see a few things. There are videos and there are worksheets, and all the worksheets put together make up the Thriving at Home homeschool planner. So the course is designed to help you learn how to manage your home and your homeschool in just 8 lessons so that you can enjoy the journey of homeschooling and even thrive in your home and homeschool. So first of all, we address mindset management in the course. It's the process that I showed you earlier, and it's of proven success. So we start with mindset management, which is the first 2 lessons of the course. So lesson number 1 in mindset management is focusing your mindset, or what I call the eternal perspective. In order to thrive at home, we need to start with our mindset, or our way of thinking. And for a Christian homeschool mom, that mindset needs to be an eternal perspective. This is the foundation of taking care of ourselves For apart from Christ and his eternal mindset or perspective, we can do nothing. And lesson number 2 is setting your priorities. As homeschool moms, we need to decide what is really important and thus where to focus our energy and time. For as I said earlier, if everything is important, then nothing is important. The most important things in our lives should be our priorities. All right, so the next section in Thriving at Home School is called Home Management. Again, one of those root systems that we need in our lives. And under this, there are also 2 lessons. So the first lesson is creating personal routines. Routines help us save brain power and function well. As homeschool moms, having morning and evening routines and daily routines and checklists will help us form habits so we can save our energy for other things. And then lesson number 4 is creating home routines. Part of our root system of a thriving life is an organizational system made up of various routines. In our homes, these routines include meal planning and cleaning routines. So next we would move to time management, that third root system that I talked about. And there's 4 lessons under this one. So the first one is called goal setting. Goals give us a sense of direction, so we live with purpose and intention. They also help with mindset and provide accountability and help us live life to the fullest. Based on our priorities, we will set yearly, monthly, and weekly goals. Lesson number 6 is planning. So once we know the goals that we're aiming for, we need to break them down into smaller, actionable steps. We can do this with weekly and daily plans using a schedule or a planner. Time blocking is an effective way to get our focus items on the calendar and actually work on them. Lesson number 7 is homeschool planning. Okay, so we can do our planning, but then homeschool planning is its own animal, isn't it? So just like the goal setting and planning for our personal lives, when we plan for our homeschool, we need to look at the big picture of our vision and our reasons for homeschooling. We need to look at our methods and our state's requirements, and then we can choose a curriculum and break the lessons into plans over months, weeks, and days. So I have a lot in there for you for homeschool planning to help you think through things. And lesson 8 is taking time for refreshment. As homeschool moms, we need to be sure to build in time for refreshment or self-care. If we do not take care of ourselves, we will have nothing left to give to our families. That's why it's so important. But notice I didn't put it first. I put time with God first and getting that eternal perspective. But it is something we definitely need to think about. So that's what is in Thriving at Homeschool. And when you purchase Thriving at Homeschool, the Christian Homeschool Moms Home Management and Productivity course, you will have instant access to all the tools you need to cultivate the root system so you can bear the fruit of thriving at home. So again, I'm going to take you on a clear path through the root system of mindset management, home management, and time management. You will follow a clear path through these phases and grow the root system in 8 life-changing lessons with beautifully designed practical worksheets to help you apply the lessons right away. And don't think I'm just bragging about beautifully designed practical worksheets, because my friend, who's very good at design, helped design them. I'm not bragging about myself, I'm bragging about her. So here is, again, what you would see. You'll get 8 video lessons. Then the homeschool planner is actually all of the worksheets put together, from which the videos walk you through all of the different worksheets. And you can get the planner on its own, but it's just included as part of Thriving at Homeschool because it is the worksheets that you want to use when you go through the videos. And the Thriving at Homeschool planner will help you plan both your homeschool and your home life. It is the best homeschool and life planner, if I do say so myself, that will help you not only manage both your home and your homeschool, but will help you get the most important things done. It is a full home and homeschool organization system. And again, if you are interested in adding music and art to your homeschool, it's really important to have a plan and know how to manage your time well so that you can include those really important subjects. Let me give you a little bit more of a look into the worksheets in the planner. So the features of the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner are undated calendars. So you can start your planning at any point in the year, and it makes sense to and this makes it convenient to print the planner year after year. So once you buy it once, you can print it every year. Also, you can look at a bigger picture of what you want to accomplish to determine a course of action for your year with our priorities and dreams and goals worksheets. Also in the planner are yearly goals. So you want to determine your main motivating goals for this year, and having them on the sheet will keep them continually fresh and visible. We also include a year at a glance calendar so that you can establish a big picture plan for your whole year overview. We also have homeschooling goals. So you understand your child better and look at the bigger picture by doing a current assessment, evaluating your child's level of independence, and then you can determine life and yearly goals. And you will be revisiting these, of course, over time. And then for homeschool planning, you can fill in these worksheets to guide your planning for the homeschool year, such as your vision, your methods, your state requirements, your curriculum needs and requirements, your monthly and weekly and daily plans. And then we have the monthly goals. So just like the yearly goals, you're going to take what you have for the year and you're going to break those down into manageable parts to work on for progress on those yearly goals each month. And next we have monthly plans. So again, that's the undated calendar so that you can fill in your main events on the monthly calendar to keep track of your whole month at a glance. And you'll want a monthly homeschool plan. This is the plan for what you're going to cover in each subject for the whole month, which would include what chapters or pages you're going to read, or what whole books, perhaps for literature, what lessons your child needs to learn, what experiments and writing assignments, just whatever you want to accomplish in a month. And we'll also have meal planning worksheets so that you can make master lists of recipes for each meal, and then you can create a plan of meals for the month and fill in your meals for the week to expedite meal preparation. And we have a weekly cleaning plan. Here you can create your weekly master task list for daily cleaning sessions, if you like to do daily cleaning, or designate which tasks you plan to do in your daily cleaning sessions, or designate weekly cleaning sessions. Also, it really helps to do a weekly brain dump. It's really helpful to go to a place and write down all the things you know you need to get done in that week and prioritize those tasks. So we call that the weekly brain dump worksheets. And then you can create a weekly focus, which is where you choose your big focus goal for the week. And you can even choose focus areas for different growth areas that you've made as goals. And you can prioritize your tasks before scheduling them on your weekly plans calendar. So you also get the weekly homeschool plan pages. They help you determine the plan for what to cover in each subject for the week. So what pages and chapters to read, what lessons to learn, which experiments, which writing assignments, those kind of things. And then you have your weekly plans. You can schedule your hour-by-hour tasks and appointments for a daily overview of managing your time or time blocking with the vertical layout. So this includes 5 weeks per month. And this is my favorite part to use because then I can fill in the priorities and how I'm going to spend the time, and then I can see what time blocks are left for other things that I'd like to do. All right, so at this point, you might be wondering, with everything that's included in this incredible system, what is it going to cost me? Because if you've shopped around, you know that a planner alone costs $39 or $49, depending on where you get it. And one of my mentors sells a similar home management course, though not for homeschool moms, for $247. But you guys, the reason for these higher prices is actually a pretty good one. It automatically weeds out anyone who's not serious about getting results. But I also know that this is something that so many of us need right now. And that's why I've decided to keep it super affordable for anyone who needs it right away. So you can join me in Thriving at Homeschool, the Christian Homeschool Moms Home Management and Productivity course for $67. So I like to sell it for $97, and that's still an amazing deal for all that's included in it. But this week, since I feel like summer is such a good time for homeschool moms to get organized, and I want to help as many moms as possible, I am giving a $30 discount, or 30%. And so you can get it for $67. Now, what's included in this? Well, the course could cost $247. And again, I don't actually charge that much, but the value really is $247. And then the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner is $49. So the total value is $296. But you can get it for $67 through tomorrow night. So this is a short time sale. I have that on sale through Friday night at 11:59 p.m. That is on May 26th. So you can get it for $67 through then. So if you're ready to take the leap, then this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to the website at the bottom of this page, or if you're on my email list, which probably a lot of you are, then you have seen my emails this week about it. And so you can click on that and you can use the code Time to Thrive 2023. But remember, it's $67, but there's so many mistakes we make, right? So you really have a lot to lose by not creating a root system in your life and implementing this process. But what if over the next 4 weeks, if you did 2 lessons a week, what would your school year look like? What could be different this next year for you? Will it be one that you enjoy and thrive in by implementing the mindset management, the home management, and the time management in your life? Or will it be a crazy, exhausting year that you're just trying to survive again, right? Maybe you came off a year that you're already tired and exhausted, and it's time to make some changes. So if it is, or if you're a new homeschool mom, then you can, if you go to the sales page, which is the website at the bottom, at the very bottom of the page, this is what it's going to look like. And you do need to use a coupon code to get $67 off. So you can see that I have a big arrow, a red arrow next to where it says have a coupon code. Now yours may not be open like this, so you have to click that other little arrow and it will open so you can insert the coupon code. All right. And so it is Time to Thrive 2023. So once you have done that, then you will have access to the videos and the worksheets and the amazing Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner. And in only a few weeks, you'll be ready to enjoy next year with the confidence that even when things don't go perfectly, you'll have routines and a plan in place to get back on track to productivity and thriving quickly. So if you're ready to get started, I'll go back to that page real quick. Go to jessclassical.com/thriving-at-home-school and click on the button, and you can read through the sales page if you want, but there's buttons where it'll take you down to this checkout page. So let's see if you have any questions. I will stop sharing the screen. I see there are some things in the chat. So let me stop share and then I can just talk to you directly. All right, so a few of you also shared where you're from. Wonderful. South Carolina, homeschooling for 3 years. Wonderful. And Allison's oldest is 13, so probably 13 years of homeschooling, right? Right, so some of you are saying yes, every single one that you could relate to, I think, as far as the things that you're struggling with. I cannot do everything for everybody, laundry, chores, so I need to delegate, but sometimes that's more exhausting. Right. And guess what? That is something we all need to learn as homeschool parents, right? We don't have to do all the work ourselves. And that's where creating the plan and the systems. One of the things I have on there is chore charts. And I just updated our chore charts the other day. Even at 17, 15, and 12, I give my kids weekly assignments and daily assignments because I kind of get tired of, oh, well, I emptied the dishwasher yesterday. Why do I have to do it again? Right? Those kind of lines, right? Even our nice kids raised in a Christian home who are on the right track, they still live in the flesh, right? And they complain and different things like that. So one of the things I have is chore charts to help us not have to do everything ourselves, because our kids need to learn how to work. That is a firm belief of mine. They need to learn how to work and know that work is hard, and they can learn it right in our houses by helping us take care of it. Okay, so that's just a side comment. And then how many hours does this course come with? So there's 8 lessons and they're each an hour long, the videos. And so they're pre-recorded. I did this as a live class a few summers ago. And so those are recordings from then. And then the worksheets, I think the bulk of the time is just how long does it take you to fill out the worksheets that go with each video. So each video is a message to tell you how to plan these things, how to set your priorities, and the worksheets walk you through those steps. So it just depends on how long it takes you to go through the worksheets. So theoretically, in 8 hours, you could do this all in one day if you're quick and going through the worksheets. I'd break it up to a little bit more, like at least over 2 days, but it's designed so that you do 2 lessons a week, and then you can do the video and work on the worksheets for a couple days, do another video, work on the worksheets. And so then by the end of June, you could go through the whole thing. Again, you could do this much faster than 4 weeks, but 8 lessons, an hour each, and then go through the worksheets and get your plan going. And you might save some of the homeschool planning for later when it gets closer to the school year starting. It just depends on your personality and your style, but it is very flexible too. So you can take what you like from this and use it. It's a really good planner. And if you are an unschooler, which, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not, I realized that was not going to work for me. I realized that structure was more helpful, but I'm sure you can still adapt this so that you have some systems in place. I don't think unschooling means completely chaotic either. So, all right, good. So are there any other questions? And if you want to unmute, you are welcome to ask any questions. I think you're all not on video either, but let's see. Yep, I think I got all the questions. Okay, well, thank you for attending, and I hope that you will consider joining me in Thriving at Homeschool. So again, the sale is through Friday, which is tomorrow, in the evening. So don't think too long. You jumped and you stayed with me for this hour, and so it must be something that you're thinking about and needing to do. So get it while it's on sale. I don't put it on sale very often, and I really think this is the best time of the year to get organized. And you don't even have to do your homeschool planning now, but just to get those systems in place, to get your priorities straightened out, to get your devotions with God maybe more freshened up during a less busy season. If you that's if you don't homeschool over the summer. But I tend to have more time in the summer because I don't have the daily commitment of homeschooling, such a structured homeschooling time. And so this is a great time to jump in. So I hope you'll jump in and join me in Thriving at Homeschool. And I hope this was helpful for you to consider what are some of the mistakes that we make, and we sabotage ourselves and burn ourselves out. So any other questions then? You're all still here, so just jump in with me and benefit from this. All right, well, thanks for joining me if there aren't any other questions. And I hope to see you inside of the course. So I'll go ahead and end the meeting. Thanks, everyone. Bye.